think that we all need to admit that we were wrong about this Russell Westbrook trade. I think we all need to admit that this Lakers team is not a super team, and I think we need to all admit that we overhyped the fuck out of the Lakers. I think it's time we come to the conclusion that the Lakers are no more the same team they were last year, but just with slightly better shooters and a point guard that turns over the ball and can't shoot to save his life. And I wish I was even talking about just jumpers. He can't even make layups. If you guys don't know, today is NBA opening night, and the Los Angeles Lakers ended up taking the Golden State Warriors, which was the second game of the night, and to be honest, I had high hopes for the Lakers. Anytime that Steph Curry plays LeBron's team, so now Warriors versus Lakers, we always get a good game. We could date back to the play-in, or we could just go to any regular season game where these guys are playing, and it's always good. And even this game, it was good for a majority of the time until the end. Now, obviously, it's one game, and I don't want to break down one game and make it seem like that this whole Lakers team is just invalidated. But at the same time, you make the blockbuster trade that you made, and you did nothing but got worse. The problems you had last year are still the same, and if anything, you've added more. And the thing was that a lot of things that people were saying during the preseason, because the Lakers did not win a single preseason game, and Russell Westbrook played terrible the entire time. The problems that Russell Westbrook has had for a majority of his career, he still has, and they've gotten worse. In 35 minutes, Russell Westbrook scored 8 points on 4 of 13 shooting. Maybe I didn't watch a whole lot of Russell Westbrook last year, because who's watching a Washington Wizards game? I thought personally that his shot did look a little better, like I guess the flow and the look of it, but that could just be me not doing my research. He did have 4 assists and 5 rebounds, so I'm not going to start that argument again like, oh, he's no longer going to be Mr. Triple-Double and he's not going to get those anymore. It's just one game. However, he was 0 for 4 shooting when it comes to 3-pointers. He had 4 turnovers. I mean, I guess it's an improvement compared to 9 turnovers in a game, but come on, man. He also has a plus-minus of -23. That's worse in the game where he did have 9 turnovers. Like, I'm gonna keep preaching. I'm not trying to like overreact. I'm not trying to go off one game, because I said this about the preseason when I talked about Russell Westbrook and how his preseason debut was bad, but nothing has changed. And it's not like Russell Westbrook is a rookie that has never played before. He's been doing this, well, not in a good way, but still. You're a part of this big three. You guys are not even a big three. You guys are quote unquote a super team now. It didn't play like a super team. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You guys played like a team that is gonna get eliminated in the first round, just like last season. Now, I don't want to make this whole video a hate video on the Lakers, so let's look at some positives. LeBron was phenomenal as hell. He is definitely back. He played amazing during his NBA debut. In his debut, LeBron had 34, 11, and 5, which isn't too bad. He did shoot 5 of 11 from 3-point, which isn't too bad if you ask me, so 45%, pretty good. Like Russell Westbrook though, he did have 4 turnovers and they didn't win the game, so he does have a plus-minus of -2, but when you look at it, it's not that bad compared to -23. But LeBron did look amazing. I wouldn't say he looks like Miami Heat LeBron, because I mean, he wore the headband, he wore the arm sleeve on the one arm, he wore the leg sleeve and all the other stuff, and he's wearing 6 again, so I think he's trying to replicate that. Anthony Davis, he also did play amazing for the Lakers, and to be honest, when you look at that, I don't know how that team didn't win that. Oh, that's right, because the depth that they had wasn't that good, and we found out. I'll say this time and time again, I don't care how many names you throw onto a team like Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, Russell Westbrook, Malik Monk, Trevor Ariza, guys like that. I don't care who you throw. If they're not good role players anymore and they don't mesh well, it's not going to be a good thing. Like I'll say for the 20th time, it's a long season and they have so much to prove, but all I'm saying is that the same problems that they had earlier, they still have, and they look like that they haven't really changed a thing. And can we also admit that the people that said this team wasn't a super team, can we admit that we was right? Because this bench that you guys talked about, which I guess contributed to a super team, was non-existent. I mean, Carmelo put up 9, which isn't bad. He was coming off the bench. I think Malik Monk had 8 or 9. It was like one of those. He didn't do too bad. Other than that though, like DeAndre Jordan, the starting center by the way, he put up what, 4 points, had a couple boards I think, but other than that, he was non-existent the whole game. Obviously, Anthony Davis and LeBron James both put up 30 points. They were gonna be studs, and my whole thing was, if Anthony Davis can play like the top 5 player, I know he's the potential, or even top 10 at least, like the way he can, I know this team's gonna do well, at least like first round wise. And I didn't even take into account that LeBron James is playing like he's back and that he's finally healthy, which in that body transformation video I made I think weeks ago, I did show, yes, this is gonna help out LeBron James's game. Man straight up looks like the 25-year-old version of himself, but just a lot more muscular. I might be exaggerating a little bit, maybe like 30, but but you guys know what I'm trying to say. He's playing like he's young, which is a good thing, but he's also playing like he's 245 plus pounds of muscle. When you create these super teams and things like that, it does take the team a while, maybe even a couple years to adjust and finally be on the same page. The Miami Heat LeBron James team, which is the basically same thing that looks like the Lakers are trying to recreate again, all they really did was lose the first season and then destroyed in the second season. So I wouldn't be shocked if this team does not win an NBA title. Like, it wouldn't shock me entirely, especially with a team like the Bucks, which I'm gonna get into a little bit, and teams like the Nets, and even like teams like the Suns and the Warriors, who again I'm gonna get into. It wouldn't be the most shocking thing, but if they did win, again, I don't think it would be shocking to me. I'd be like, I mean, I could see that. The Nets are the favorites right now to win the title, and I believe the Lakers are either number 3 or 4. I could be wrong. But the point is that a lot of people don't expect this team right away to win an NBA championship, which is a very valid argument. I've been saying this. I got Phoenix winning the NBA championship, and that's with all my bias not aside. All jokes, however, I'm not really sure who's gonna win. If I had to make an easy guess, I could say like the Nets, but they lost their opening night game, so they're not perfect either. We just talk about real quick how both of the quote-unquote super teams lost on opening nights to teams that they should have beat. Not by a lot per se, but they should have won those games. The Warriors somehow transcended from a team that basically missed the playoffs well, not basically, they did miss the playoffs, are now all of a sudden looking like good Western Conference favorites. First of all, I'm gonna always say that I don't care how good the team is that Steph Curry's on, if they're the team like last year or they're the team like this year. When you really look at it, they really didn't change that much. The only thing, I guess, and maybe I'm missing something, forgetting a couple small things, but like, I mean, Klay Thompson's coming back in a couple months. That's about it. And even last year, they pushed the Lakers to a brink of almost beating them in the play-in. Now, I think the Lakers would have beat the Memphis Grizzlies, and it really does shock me that the Grizzlies actually ended up beating the Warriors, but might I digress. Steph Curry obviously balled out. He had a triple-double for the first time since 2016. Andrew Wiggins definitely looks like he's trying to start to break out a little bit more. I love Jordan Poole on the Lakers. That is the perfect fit for him, and he's going to be such a good sixth man when Klay Thompson does eventually return. And even then, it might take Klay Thompson a little bit to start again, unless they start him right away. I would think that with the injuries he's had, because he's had these back-to-back, that maybe like he should wait a little bit and they should try to slowly bring him in like they have done players in the past. All in all, these were two great opening night games. I really didn't touch on the Bucks and Nets one. I didn't really know like what to say about that one, because this Lakers and Warriors one was the one that I wanted to watch. I did watch a little bit of the Bucks game, but I really didn't see a whole lot that I wanted to talk about. But ladies and gentlemen, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you do leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on post notifications. Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA season is finally here, and I'm going to be making videos every single day. By the way, I've been uploading very consistently on TikTok for about a week. It is the Spex Media. That's the app. Make sure you guys do follow. I'll put the link in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have an amazing day. Take care. Peace. If you have made it to the end of the video, here are 2 videos on the screen that I think you guys will really enjoy. Anyways, cue the outro.